We're live.
We are live. Hello, hello, hello. We are live. How are we doing?
I'm all right. How you doing, Mr. West Coast, Senor Aaron?
It's been a day, so this will be good because we're gonna hang out, chat, movie, TV, whatever, and then we're gonna have some whiskey at the same time. So this
No,
is a
no,
good,
just
good way to
just
end the
one
day.
show, and
I know,
and
I
and
know,
one drink.
I know, I
That's
know.
it. That's it.
Yeah, so it's good to kind of relax after a day. It's been a day.
Shall I run the intro and then we can go
Yeah,
into?
run the intro and then we'll get rolling.
All right, cool. Let's do that. We're gonna do that right. Welcome to One Show, One Drink, part of the What We Watch When We Drink podcast from the Booze Dancing Entertainment Network, where we take one show or film and pair it with one boozy beverage. If you enjoy this show, please subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Google, Audible, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. You can also find us on boozedancing.com, and if you have any questions, comments, show or drink suggestions, email us at boozedancing@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Howdy. Yo, howdy.
Was that semi-professional enough for you?
That was semi-professional. It worked really well for me. Yes. Let's see. This is the Booze Dancing Entertainment Network, and we are live. This is 2 weeks in a row we've been live. We never do this, and now we've done it twice in a row. It's crazy.
Isn't it, though?
It is. And you said we were live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, boozedancing.com. If you probably put your head outside, you probably look at the sky, and we might be up there too. We are reaching everywhere. This is the show that is taking America by storm. One show, one drink. I'm not even sure what episode number this is. And we are part of the
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, does it? Part of the What We Watch When We Drink podcast network of family network, your unofficial podcast of the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, which ended today.
Did it end today?
And
what was the verdict? Or are they deliberating?
No, it's over. He won, and he won, I believe, $8 million in a settlement, and something like, I have this wrong, $2 million in punitive damages, but the judge knocked that down to some smaller amount, and she's still gonna get $2 million. So net out of it, she's got to pay him like $8 million or something. It's crazy. I don't know. So there you go. Johnny Depp, winner. He's a winner. Winner chicken dinner.
Would it be wrong if I said I don't care?
You would not be, nor I have not been following it a bit.
I don't care. I don't care at all. Anyway,
we should add that this will be ultimately turned into a podcast.
Yes.
For What We Watch When We Drink, and you can listen to it, download it on your favorite device, and listen when you want. So tonight we one show, one drink. We actually do one show or movie, and we drink around it. And what is our one show tonight, Gilo?
We are doing L.A. Confidential.
The movie.
The movie.
Not the cartoon, not the anime,
no,
not the docuseries,
not even the book.
Actual movie.
Not even the book. Not even the book. And you know what?
The book by
James Ellroy.
James Ellroy.
He also wrote The Black Dahlia and American Tabloid and The Cold 10,000, The Cold 6,000. I forget, one of those. And many more books. Now, when I had the DVD, and I was actually, poking around today, and I looked on the inside, and you know how they usually have like a critic's blurb? Yep. So Gene Shalit of the Today Show on NBC TV says,
That was my Gene Shalit impression. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is he that unintelligible?
He was. I thought so because of all the hair in his face and.
I get it. So what he says, one quick quote: "A rare and rattling detective story, a brilliant blend of booze, bribes, and broads."
Well, that pretty much sums it up. So good night. Drive safely, everyone.
That's it. That's the movie.
Yes.
That's the movie in a nutshell.
That's it. And
one more quote, actually.
Yes, sir.
James Ellroy on the book. It was a book for the whole family. If the name of your family was the Manson family. That's how he describes his book.
That's pretty funny.
He is. He's a character.
You know, I haven't read much of his stuff, but what I always liked about him is he's an LA writer, right? This is a lot of Los Angeles in his stuff, and this is an LA book, book and movie. LA Confidential. LA, by the way, stands for Los Angeles for our newer viewers.
Los Angeles. You
Los
mean
Angeles,
for those that have been living under a rock for the last
under Eagle Rock, which is not too far from here in the LA area.
Way to tie it in.
I try to. It's all about non sequiturs. We are going to be drinking as well, and tonight we are going to feature some oldies, antiques, ancient.
We prefer vintage.
Vintage, also known as vintage. 2 old releases from the Lost Spirits Distillery, which originally opened in the Northern California Central Coast area and of California. And we have 2 whiskeys we're going to try from them that are can't get them anymore. So there you go. And I guess the connection sort of was that Lost Spirits moved from up north to Los Angeles a number of years ago and actually has moved to Las Vegas since then, but is coming back to LA if all goes well and to open another facility.
Now you went to their LA. You went to the LA facility, correct?
I was to both of their LA facilities. They had one and then they moved, and I was at both of them. And as most people know, Lost Spirits is Brian Davis is the Willy Wonka of distillery owners, and it's part distillery, part trip
Disneyland.
down the jungle, Disneyland, the trip down the Jungle River. What's that?
The Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise. It's a little of everything, and all wrapped into one, and it's crazy. And I hear the one in the Las Vegas distillery is just as wacky and fun as well. Hey!
Guess who's in the waiting? Guess who's in the lobby?
Bob Hope?
No, better than Bob Hope.
Mitch Kumstein?
I don't know him.
Better
than him.
Caddyshack. You had to see Caddyshack.
Okay, but you know what? You know why he's better than Bob Hope? He's actually alive.
Right. Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
but Bob Hope would just walk in on shows like this. He'd come in for a cameo. Hey, everybody! Watch my USO show. Hey, it's Bob Hope.
Better than Bob Hope.
It is Bob Hope.
Hey, what's going on? Hello, Mikey.
Are you bringing Lola Falana with you?
The Beck concert ran late.
Oh, the Beck concert.
They had a drum solo that went 5 minutes.
What they get? Gene Krupa?
Unnecessary. Unnecessary.
Hey, Gene Krupa, another dead person. We just have them all tonight.
I was going to say someone else, but I didn't want to make you cry. So I wasn't going to go there.
And you did.
I wasn't going to go there.
That's okay.
And
those are like 10-minute drum solos. How are we, Mike?
And you went there. Superty duper.
Superty duper.
So we had a baseball playoff game and then a 8th grade concert. Oh, they're action-packed roller coaster ride of excitement.
Things are rocking and rolling in Pennsylvania tonight. New Jersey, I'm sorry.
The joy of parenthood.
Yes.
Joy of parenthood.
It is.
It never ends.
It's okay. It took me an hour to get from the limo. I'm sorry, the tuxedo place back to the house. So, sitting in traffic, sitting at the park, whatever. Because they got the prom tomorrow night. Our eldest have their proms.
How sweet.
The tux up yesterday.
Look at you getting ahead of the game. All right.
Are we doing any chaperoning?
No.
That was quick.
No, they're on their own.
Here's $5. Have a good time, buddy.
So we were talking about whiskey, and we've got 2 from Lost Spirits. We've got the Umami American Peated Single Malt, and then we have the Seascape American Peated Single Malt. That is, what is it now? Oh, it's a rum cask, a Navy rum cask.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you want to go?
And I don't care. You guys pick one.
Dear God, one's 59%, one's 65%. Let's do the soft one.
Let's go for the. We'll start with 5. Let's go with a whiskey with a 5.
We'll get whiskey with a 5. Okay,
whiskey with a 5. The easy drinking one.
Yes.
So now, Aaron, are these always overproofed from them?
Yes.
Not overproof, but at a high proof.
I think everything they've ever made is above 50 or above.
Yeah.
Before you came on, Mike, we were looking around, or before we came on tonight, we were looking to see if we could figure out when this came out. I think 2014-ish or not, I believe, is when.
And do we know where this is? Do they actually make this themselves?
Made, no longer available. Yeah, they made it themselves. Yep.
Right.
This was made at their original facility up in Salinas, California, and which I believe had to close down because they had a fire and burned the still, I believe. Burned the still.
Whoopsie.
Apparently, this stuff is flammable. Who knew?
Yeah, go figure. 59% distilled from malt mash, stored under 4 years in reused cooperage sherry seasoned French oak, peat smoked barley fermented in salt water. And what else can I tell you about this? I think that's all I can tell you about it.
I wonder where they get
say
the
15. So at the time, as I recall, the peat at this time was, I believe they were getting it from the California Delta, which I don't know that was completely legal.
Hey,
So
shall
they were sending a guy in a truck. Hey, good person.
I know what you're gonna say, Ange. Shall we?
Shall we?
Ka-ching.
Clink, clink. Gentlemen,
Clink, clink.
cheers.
All right.
We'll edit that so they all sync up, right?
That's
No.
right.
No, not at all. Not at all. We have to keep our semi-professional status intact.
I have not visited
is-
either of these in quite a while.
There is so much going on with the nose here. It is
Yep.
like an assault, but in a good way.
Ooh, I like the way that smells.
Well, obviously, salt water. Thank you.
yes.
You get the brine, you get the peat, you get like a furniture polish or like a lacquer. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff there.
What was that? Hey, we ordered food.
Just you.
No,
Hey.
they were asking me if I wanted to order food.
Did you order food? Oh my god! Look at that. By the way, not future sponsor of what we watch when we of one show, one drink, and what we watch when we drink. Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
They,
No.
Right.
they will not be a
They close
sponsor.
I agree with you. No,
They close on
No, they will
Sundays.
not be. That's right.
they're closed on Sundays.
That's the problem.
I
Well,
like this.
there. What am I not getting out of this?
There's like a light,
There's-
like menthol, like a light.
There's a
purple
menthol.
on it.
Yeah, I was thinking that was like the furniture polish, but now you mentioned it's more like a menthol. Yeah.
You know, it's like a. What do you want to call it? A liniment,
Yeah.
like a good rub down.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, my
yes.
neck's a little sore. I'm going to take a little bit of this right now. I'm going to rub it into my
There's
neck.
there's a
right.
little bit of a
I'm gonna-
Vicks Vapor Rub going on here.
I'm going to put a little
It's
splash right now. I'm doing it right now. I just put a little bit of my hand. I'm reaching in. Look at
So
that.
this
Can't
is
hurt.
yours.
This
Look at
is
that.
your
Perfect.
this is your genius.
Feel better?
Your after bath splash.
This is my day.
You can move your shoulder now. You can go back to playing the
Oh,
piano.
look at that. No, I can back to. You know, I can go back to pitching. I can go back to pitching.
Will I be able to play the piano?
He's played
piano?
before. Hello.
Be happy. All right, I'm going in for a taste. Ooh, I like it.
That's a lot of peat.
Oh, that's nice though.
That's a lot of peat.
I like it. I think I've reviewed this before. I have a feeling you sent me some of this before, and
That is a lot of
I
peat.
tried it. It was quite nice.
So
That's
the
a
name,
clam
of
bake.
course,
That's a clam bake.
it is a clam bake.
That's a clam bake.
and it's from California. So do you get like an F. Funicello and
It's a
Frankie
Beach Market
Avalon?
bingo.
it's a
I'm working without a net.
bingo. Can we get Buster Keaton to like walk around and be on the beach?
Harvey, what's the guy with the finger?
I don't know. Who's the guy with the
shoot.
finger?
The guy, the leather jacket guy.
I know what you mean. I can't think of his name though. It's been a long
His name was
time.
Harvey something.
Been a long time.
So this is called umami. Right?
Umami, and it's got some umami.
Right. Yes, it's savory. There's some savory. There's a lot going on here. There's
Yeah.
a little smokiness or saltiness. There's a tad of sweetness.
It's a little oily.
Yeah, definitely oily. Yeah, and it's interesting because I would think it's it's been sitting here for a while, and I would think it might be a little bit oxidized. I can't remember what it tastes like originally, but it's not. I don't think it's
No. I don't
aged
see it.
badly.
No, not at all.
I think it's like a young Kahlua, which is shocking.
You're right.
So
So
they're
the,
able to capture that kind of quality.
the second sip I had actually had that
Yeah.
punchy sweetness. Yeah.
A little sweet,
That's really-
a little briny, the heavy peat flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I hate
It's
you,
very
by the way.
it's very meaty.
It's
very
nice. It's very umami.
wow.
Mm.
Oh, I'm glad this is a good one to revisit. Hey, that's great.
Mhm.
Okay, we talked a little whiskey. Let's get into our show because we're not going to do this forever tonight.
We're not.
Because people have to get on to Entertainment Tonight to find out about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. It's really critical, so we don't want to keep them
The
forever.
verdict's in. The verdict's in. The verdict's in.
The version. Ah! Okay, so L.A. Confidential. Who wants to start?
Do you want me to read the synopsis real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so 3 policemen, each with his own motives and obsessions, tackle the corruption surrounding an unsolved murder at a downtown Los Angeles coffee shop in the early 1950s. Detective Lieutenant Exley, played by Guy Pearce, the son of a murdered detective, is out to avenge his father's killing. The ex-partner of Officer White, implicated in a scandal ruled out by Exley, was one of the victims. Sergeant Vincennes feeds classified information to a tabloid magazine. So that's kind of in a nutshell what's going on here. And the film was really. Go ahead.
I have to say, even listening to that, I was thoroughly confused by the story.
Right?
Didn't matter. Yeah, it was beyond me. It didn't matter because for me it was mostly about the performances, the people, and I was completely lost by the who did what. It didn't matter. I just liked everyone's seeing all these faces. It was great. And this is what year was this? 90.
So this was released September 19th, 1997.
97. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's interesting seeing all these people. What are we talking about? 25 years ago? 25 years ago.
Well, actually, now it's exactly like we're almost at the 25th anniversary of this.
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
Yeah.
Rollo Tomasi.
Rollo Tomasi. That's going to be my next car. I'm going to get a Rollo Tomasi.
Now, Mike, did you get to watch it?
5-speed.
Again? No, I didn't get a chance to watch it again. I've seen it so many times. It's one of those ones when it comes on, along with always watching Armageddon, I always watch LA Confidential.
Oh, I get sucked in every single time.
Just the quotes in it are so good. When he's like,
it's so good.
That's a whore cut to look like Helena Turner. No,
it's a lot of Turner. There's
Johnny
a lot
Stampanato.
There's a lot to parse here, and I don't remember when I saw it first. I might have saw it just in the theater. I don't remember watching it anytime recently on TV. So it was interesting to go back to it.
I can't believe it's 25 years.
I know.
I can't either.
It just doesn't seem like it's that long ago.
It feels like yesterday, and I remember where I saw it. I remember who I saw it with. So, yeah, I mean, I saw it twice in the theater.
Yeah.
I found it a little bit difficult with Kevin Spacey.
Oh, well, now.
Yeah, right now. Watching, I don't know that I would seek out a Kevin Spacey movie or role to watch. And who am I missing? There's somebody else in there that on the list in there that was a little weird to watch.
Russell Crowe?
I know. Yeah, because I'm not a big Russell Crowe fan.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan. So, but their performances were great. And watching Kim Basinger, read the newspaper would be pretty much any great movie for me.
That's true.
Is that why you
watch
get
your coloring?
Is that why you get the newspaper? You're hoping that she'll come by and read it to
I'm
you?
hoping, just read it to me, Kim. Yes, that'd be great. That's a lot of red lipstick, by the way, in that movie. I can't imagine what they spent on red lipstick in that movie.
Yeah.
Budget was high.
Well, I'll tell you, the budget was about $35 million.
And 34 of it was on red lipstick.
Red lipstick, yeah. Wow, true.
I did not remember Danny DeVito's role as much as as big as it was until it wasn't. He was really good.
He was.
He was kind of just being Danny. He was kind of being Danny DeVito. He wasn't like some. He didn't put on a character. He was just. It was Danny DeVito. It was
Correct.
He
He was
really
playing
good.
himself.
He played
He was
himself
great.
On the down low.
on the down low.
On the QT and very,
QT. That was
very hush hush.
That's a really good cast.
It is.
That's
It's an incredible cast.
Spectacular. Yeah.
Oh, and what's James Cromwell?
James Cromwell. Yes.
And at the time, were any of these guys stars?
Other than Kim Basinger and what's his name and Kevin Spacey, no.
And I don't know that Kevin Spacey was a star.
Yeah, but I don't know that you'd say he was a star at that 25 years.
Wow, did he? Was he already in The Usual Suspects? Was he in Seven already at that point?
I don't know, 97 maybe. I don't know. Probably.
I think he was the one big star because even if you look at the box, it's Kim Basinger, but then you've got the largest face on the box is second largest face on the box is Kevin Spacey, and he gets top billing. So
Curtis Hanson. I have a couple little factoids here too. Writer and director, long time.
He's an LA guy.
LA guy, big fan of James Ellroy. He actually had Kevin Spacey on his wish list for something for years, and he'd been trying to get him into something. And here we go. After Spacey won an Oscar for The Usual Suspects, Hanson called him and said, "I think I've got a role for you, and I think you're not going to say no this time." So that's how he got him in there. And Spacey's character is based on, anyone want to take a guess?
Oh, I mean, I did my little research. So I think they told him.
Dean Martin.
Right. That was his. Well, it wasn't based on Dean Martin. He just kind of said, this is the vibe you're going for.
Yeah, the
Dean Martin vibe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
That's what you want. The king of cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Always got the line, always with the gals.
Yep. Made a white suit, white jacket look great.
Uh-huh. Yes, he did. So the cast is Kevin Spacey as Detective Jack Vincennes, Russell Crowe as Bud White, Guy Pearce as Ed Exley, James Cromwell as Dudley Smith, Kim Basinger as Lynn Bracken, Danny DeVito as Sid Hutchins, and David Strathairn as Pierce Patchett.
So where is Strathairn? I've seen him before a million times, I'm sure. He looks so familiar. Where have I seen him before?
You've seen 8 Men Out?
Oh, that's right. He's in that. He's one of the ball players, right?
He's in Matewan. There's a lot of movies he's in.
Right. He's in that. He's also in The Firm. He plays Tom Cruise's brother.
Ah. Okay.
So he's a very good actor. He was there's a guy from Jersey, John Sayles, and him and Strathairn did a whole lot of movies together.
Yeah.
And John Sayles directed Matewan and he directed 8 Men Out.
Yep.
And a whole bunch of others. So they have a pretty long relationship.
And this movie came out the same year as Titanic.
Yep. I have the Oscars up here now.
So Titanic wins, right? And this
correct.
So this won 2 Oscars, where in another year it might have won all 9 it was nominated for.
Right.
Just, dumb luck.
Yeah.
So the 5 Best Picture winners, the 5 Best Picture nominees were Titanic, As Good as It Gets, The Full Monty, Good Will Hunting, and L.A. Confidential.
Wow. That's a star-studded list.
Yep. Yeah, and a lot of it were like kind of small pictures too.
Yeah, Full Monty was small.
And the Full Monty is a very small picture. Good Will Hunting. I mean, that was what the Affleck and Matt Damon Oscar for Best Original Screenplay.
Yep.
And what's interesting, or maybe not to you, is that Kim Basinger wins for L.A. Confidential, and she beats Minnie Driver in Good Will Hunting, Julianne Moore in Boogie Nights, and this sentimental favorite, Gloria Stewart in Titanic, for Best Supporting Actress.
Wow,
I think she deserved it.
Well, no, not that she didn't deserve it, but
yeah.
they were always just like, oh, well, Gloria Stewart, she's 85 at the time. Like, this will be the payback. We'll give her one. Or, L.A. Confidential was a great movie. Boogie Nights was also a great movie. Good Will Hunting, was a sentimental movie. People love that. Where, you're up against that. Any one of those could have been a deserving winner. And she wound up winning, and that's great for her. Not so great for the others, but it's just amazing that they were so deep that year. Where other years you look at it and you're like, yeah, no, you're going to win that. There's other people, they did a great job, but no, their movie wasn't as big.
Right. So the budget for this was $35 million. Opening weekend, it pulled in $5.2 million. and the gross box office worldwide was 126 million.
Wow.
So it made some money. It didn't make Titanic money.
That's a big movie.
It didn't do Titanic money, but it made some money.
And they say you have to double the budget to break even.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the other, it's $35 million movie. The other 35 is for promotion,
advertising, promotion,
all that stuff. So you did better than almost twice the combined total. That's
plus the back end. Don't forget the back end.
That's pretty good. Wow. I've been told I am the back end.
We established this in the last podcast.
Yes, in the last.
You're the back end of the horse. Is that what it is?
That's when I'm
the business end.
The business end.
Is this
what kind of business are you doing there, pal?
Hey now, is this the Guy Pearce Apex?
I don't know if it's his apex, but this was definitely his breakout role, at least in the States.
Well, I think he was, and then after this, he's in Memento.
Right. Yeah, Memento's after this,
and that might have been his apex. I don't know.
Yeah, he was in what's it called? Wasn't he in Mayor of Easttown last year?
Oh yeah, but that's a small.
No, I know, but it was small roles. Yeah, and he's done some other stuff. I think he probably did more stuff back in Australia.
Well, and I think he also is somebody who can be choosy with his stuff because he can be. Right. He's in the Hurt Locker. He's in the King's Speech. He's in Prometheus. He's in an Alien movie. He's in an Iron Man movie. Sure, I'll work when I want to. I don't have to work every day.
Yeah.
And he's probably involved in some theater or some small television work or something just to do something else.
I like it takes the 1930s and 40s police drama movies that were always in black and white, and through a different lens and better technology, of course.
This takes place in the 50s.
I know, but it's made in the 90s,
right?
And it's just updated that genre 50 years later, and because the acting is pretty stiff back in the 30s and 40s, and it's not really over the top, but it's not as cool. We thought it was cool, but maybe it's not so cool anymore. This was actually pretty cool, right? This is current movie making. Yeah, I like it.
I love everything about this movie. Everything from the score to the opening sequence with Danny DeVito just doing the narration, just everything. I mean, the score. Jerry Goldsmith has done some. I think he did Chinatown.
Yep,
I think
he's done everything.
He's done a lot of stuff. It's just fantastic. It's just really fantastic. The photography, some of the shots I'm looking at, I was actually paying attention and just watching the camera movement in some of them. There's the one scene when Bud White goes to interview Pierce Patchett for the first time around.
Right.
And the way they just kind of shoot him from behind, just walking up to the house, and then the camera goes up and it shows you, overhead shot. And then you see, what's his name? David Strathairn, playing golf on his back lawn. Just the way they did that. It's just one continuous shot. It was just really, really cool the way they did it.
I think this movie speaks to a bit of a love affair with Los Angeles.
Oh, absolutely.
And maybe Southern California.
And at a certain time. I think at a certain time.
At a certain time, yes. Yeah, the mystique of California, the mystique of Southern California, the mystique of Los Angeles. And it plays that up. There's the beauty of Hollywood. I mean, the gritty side too, but it really does well in the cinematography of the green, the lushness, the bright lights, Hollywood. It does that so well, and the golden light in the background. It's done really well in that way.
It is.
And Jerry Goldsmith, 18 Academy Award nominations. Just in case you're wondering what he's done. only 18 Academy Awards.
Well deserved.
One win, but 18 Academy Awards.
What did he win for?
The Omen.
Oh, okay.
The Omen.
The Omen.
That's pretty funny.
He scored 5 of the Star Trek movies, 3 Rambo movies, Planet of the Apes, Patton, Chinatown, Alien, Poltergeist, Gremlins, Hoosiers, Total Recall, LA Confidential, and The Mummy.
The Mummy.
Well, I mean, he's got a hell of a cast. Now, the screenplay was written by Curtis Hanson and Brian Helgeland. They co-wrote the screenplay, and they actually won So the 2 Academy Awards this movie won was Kim Basinger as Best Supporting Actress and Best Adapted Screenplay. Is that what it would be, or from another source?
Adapted screenplay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was
because it's from the book. Yeah.
Right. So Hansen and Helgelund got an Oscar for that.
Right.
And Helgelund went on. I think he did A Knight's Tale afterwards.
Oh wow!
I think he wrote and directed that. So I don't know what else he's done after that, but I know A Knight's Tale was definitely his claim to fame after L.A. Confidential.
He also wrote 42, the Jackie Robinson biopic.
Okay.
That's cool. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
With the guy who passed away.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah. That's right. Chadwick Boseman. Yes.
And he did Mystic River.
Who? Curtis Hanson.
Brian.
Okay. Did he write the script for that?
He wrote the screenplay for that too.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
I didn't either. I'm just,
You're Googling?
I'm getting a little googly.
Or are you IMDb in it?
IMDbing
it? I'm wikiing.
You're wikiing. You know what you are? You're wacky. That's what you are. You're wacky.
Should we move on to another whiskey?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
If we must.
You want to do the other one? What's the other one? Seascape?
Seascape 2.
Seascape 2? Okay.
Seascape 2.
So, how is this different than the umami? The cask finishing at the end?
Let me read that to you.
6% ABV, that's
how.
Yeah. We kicked it up a notch.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. What do we got? I'm reading from the bottle. Handmade in nearly extinct style of oak pot still fermented and pot still. I'm sorry. Handmade in a nearly extinct style of oak pot still, fermented and distilled from 100% California malted barley, smoked at our distillery with coarse cut Canadian peat. Ingredients: peat smoked malted barley and water. And I don't believe it's finished anything. I can't read under the label. Stored under 4 years in reused cooperage, late something I can't read. Oh, you're right. In our own Navy rum cask.
No.
Now their Navy rum cask is just potent.
Yes.
And if you want to be impotent, you want to have that potent.
You want to be you gotta look impotent.
Now something I'll show you guys. If you can see the bottle.
Bits. You got some bits?
It's not bits. It's just all the milkiness sediment that's on the bottom. You can see this black ring.
That's not like barrel char or anything like that?
Well, I think it's everything goes away. It's all just settled to the bottom. So it's really cloudy. So I'm obviously not shell filtered by any means.
I'm thinking it's just love. That's what's in the bottle. It's just love.
A lot of love.
Now this smells decidedly different than the umami. I'm getting more of like the antiseptic.
I'll tell you one thing. It's got a lot of vapors.
Varnish. Yeah, get a lot more of that off the top.
It's hard to get my nose in there because it's just kind of like
Now this one, as you can see, 2/3 gone. So I would think this would be slightly oxidized.
So we'll see. How would you keep the oxidation from occurring on your bottles?
Put it in a smaller bottle.
If you wax smaller bottles, or keep condensing the bottles.
Yeah,
condensing the bottles. I guess you could probably seal the bottle better.
If you wax them or something. Otherwise, and that's just too much work. Just keep moving the bottles smaller.
I think so. I probably should have done all that, but no.
I'm not saying you've done anything wrong. I'm just curious.
I think you are.
There are people that do that.
Time. Yeah, they talk about that all the time about how it oxidized, and we typically don't have anything that lasts long enough to oxidize. Do we?
No.
After the drink you brought out the other night,
was it like a third of a bottle of Macallan? I said it's got to go. It's got to
go.
Finish it. You know what?
Definitely more vapory.
Yeah. It's hard to nose because there's just so much alcohol coming off it.
Less going on than the umami on the nose.
On the nose.
And it's just as viscous. It's really thick on the glass. And
did you go in?
I think I missed a little of the peat and a little bit of the salt. I'm not getting the brine on the nose.
On the nose, no.
Yeah.
I'm going in for a taste.
Careful.
You know what? That's really nice. That hot, huh?
Smooth.
No, come on.
I may have chewed my whiskey for too long. That's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So
not much of a finish, but the mouthfeel is fantastic.
I think it's pretty dry.
Yeah,
at least on the first shot.
It is dry. There's a little sweetness, but not like a sugary sweetness. If that makes any sense whatsoever. It's not like, really, really sweet, but there is a little bit there. It's not as peaty as the other one.
No, I get more of the brininess on this one though.
Yeah,
but it probably is as peaty as the other one, right?
It probably is. I don't know that they ever
the same whiskey. They just barreled it in the Navy rum cask.
Probably. Yeah, it's maybe not the same run,
not the same mash, not the same day. But
you know what? I was wondering about this. I did not notice this on the label. On the umami doesn't say this anywhere, but on the Seascape, are you sitting down?
Yes.
55 ppm.
Huh.
That's Ardbeg.
I hate you both.
Now, I don't. That's funny. I don't get that though with this.
No, neither do I.
No. It doesn't. To me, it doesn't seem peatier or a big difference of peat from the first one.
No.
And the first one I thought was like a clam bake. It tastes like you're pulling someone off the grill. It's nice.
No, I probably shouldn't have said that because now I'm sort of my brain's thinking it. I get a little bit messing with my head, which is pretty easy. I do get a little bit of peat on the nose. I don't know that I had it much on the palate.
Yeah. They're both really nice. I think I like the umami a little bit better.
I think I do too.
I think there's a little more complexity to it.
Yeah.
A little bigger flavor profile or wider flavor profile. But this is good.
The rums, I have a few of the rums, the old overproof rums when they were making things completely, and with a actual still, and it's really interesting to see where they've gone from making their own things with a still and aging them in barrels to there's no more barrels anymore. They don't use barrels because they have this this technology where.
Right.
They shoot light in to it to age it quicker with little chunks of wood to get the same sort of result. It's come a long way. These don't feel as polished, I think, as a lot of older whiskeys. But if you didn't know, you may not know.
Yeah, and maybe that's why they put them out at such a higher proof. Because if they were lower proof, like an older whiskey, maybe it wouldn't have the same kind of punch.
You know what?
You'd be able to tell they're younger whiskey. Yeah.
We talk about this a lot with small distilleries. What we have over the years, especially American brands, everything comes from a 3-letter place in Indiana, right? In the beginning.
Not this stuff.
Not this stuff. This was all made in California, which is a tip of the hat to Brian and Lost Spirits for doing that from the very get-go.
But they can't say handmade, otherwise somebody's going to sue them because the machine is involved.
That's right.
California.
That's right. That's right.
It's California.
Lawsuits are us. Come to our store.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I like them both. They're fun.
You have a preference?
These are fun to revisit.
The umami. No, the umami's got, like you said, a little more depth, and it definitely does border on. It does kind of dip its toe into Kahlua territory. Yeah, but I like them both. I mean, the Seascape for 65, the Seascape is just it packs a punch and it packs a lot of flavor.
It's almost too easy drinking at 65.
I know. It's frightening, isn't it?
Yes. So there's a 68%.
No.
The Navy rum?
Just stop
rum.
Yeah, you sent it to me.
It's the same way. It's the
Which
same
one was
thing.
One was like the Jamaica rum. One was like what was it? One was like the Old Navy rum or something.
I'm going to go off camera for just a half a second. You guys talk amongst yourself.
Okay, let's talk amongst ourselves. talk amongst ourselves. So, were you confused by the plot of LA Confidential?
So that Aaron guy, I can't stand him. I'm so
and
glad
he can't
he's not
follow a
anymore.
plot.
He's just the worst.
He may
be dumb. He may just be dumb.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, hey, buddy. Hey, you're back.
What's going on, pal?
Hi, guys. We're back.
I thought there were some twists that didn't need to be twists, and I thought they killed a lot of people in LA Confidential.
In the movie? Wow.
Yeah.
So this is the 55%.
Oh, there you go.
Navy rum.
Right.
55. Yeah.
So they sat. And
this is the 68% Navy rum.
Right. I think you sent me both of them, and we did a little.
We
did the rundown one time.
Yeah, Monterey, California. So these were made all up in Salinas. Yep, I was right.
So where are they getting the rum bits? Are they using sugarcane or are they using
ingredients? Baking grade molasses, evaporated sugarcane juice, and water.
Oh, sugarcane juice. Okay, so a little bit of both.
And then also we have a Jamaican one. This was also back up in Northern California days, I believe. And same thing, molasses, water, and yeast. 49.7 Jamaican rum. And then they're doing, rums down here, or when they moved to Los Angeles, they started doing their own rums as well.
They did the rapid aging stuff down here.
Well, and I think that they originally were Brian went into the business of making that machine and trying to license it out, and he sold it to licensed it out to a few American rum distilleries, and then he brought it back in house to make his own. And the rums, I think, are just really good. He understands the rum flavor profiles that you can have so many of them depending on
Sure.
The Jamaican stuff, which is all kind of funky and
it tastes like tastes like I threw a boot in there. Yeah,
a boot. Yes, and hey, it really tastes like mango. It's dried mango. Yeah. So a lot of fun stuff.
So what does he do with he shoots light through everything to rapidly age it? Is that what you were saying?
So there's a machine that he developed, and so they don't have a barrel process.
Right.
And this. I can't remember the white. I read the white paper. I didn't really understand it. My wife did. Where they're shooting high intensity light into the vat of spirit.
So it's like tanks of some sort that they're.
It's a tank,
right?
Yeah, sort of a tank. And then there's these oak chunks that they actually specify from some stave company, back east somewhere, and they're looking for certain char levels, and they get these chunks. I can't remember how big they were.
So they're probably like guys who are a cooper can no longer reuse. So they're at the end of life for these barrel bits, but they can still char something, cut it into bits, and sell it.
Yeah, and I think they use a lot of new stuff too. Yeah, a lot of new pieces.
Or so then that's like you get a piece of wood that's
it's not the right shape,
and you can't get it to fit. So, but you can still use the stave. It's not like something that you can't use anymore. So in terms of like the reuse, recycle kind of thing, they're doing their part, which is great.
Yep. And so in Las Vegas, as you guys know, in California, when they were here in Los Angeles, the distillery was more of a distillery / Willy Wonka experience, and where you actually went on go on a boat. Inside, this is a warehouse in the Arts District in downtown LA, an old warehouse, and you walk in, you don't even realize you're in a warehouse anymore. And then you go went behind a curtain, and you would have a little talk at a tiki bar, sort of, that was kind of constructed, try the rum, and then you take a few steps to the left, and you're actually kind of in a rainforest. And you get on a boat because there's a body of water in this warehouse. And this,
of course,
and you are transported up the river through birds chirping, rain sounds, mist. It was weird, and then you get off to where the fermenting tanks are, because they're actual fermenting tanks, and then it led you to the what they call the aging room, which is really this light source machine, and it was crazy. And then they moved to a different location, and it was more of the same, and it got even wackier because you would actually leave the facility that you were at, this address, and you would get on a bus, a school bus, and the school bus had been decked out to look like a submarine. And so you're actually in a submarine in this bus, and you drive about 15 minutes away to another location, and you're going to the actual distillery, and the bus, the portholes on the bus actually have water coming in, and so you feel like you're kind of going underwater. And there's holograms going on of dancing girls, and your tour guide is serving you drinks, and it is wild. And then when you get to this other location, you kind of go through the whole process again, and ultimately you end up in this big room on a trolley cars. There's like a train of trolley cars, and in the middle of this big room, past the still, is the aging thing, and it's like dead center in the middle of the room, and the bright lights, pouring into it, and it's like the star of the room. It's crazy. And now I hear that the Las Vegas distillery location is even crazier, insane.
Just to be clear, you didn't get roofied during this tour, right?
Correct.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I'm thinking it sounds more like an opium den than a distillery.
Now, I don't remember. I don't know what
woo.
I don't remember. I don't know what the end to the. I'm guessing it's probably similar. The end of the tour is in Las Vegas, because I haven't been there. But the end of the tour at the second location, the final location, Los Angeles. Of course, where do all these tours end when you're in Disneyland?
The gift shop.
Exactly. So this gift shop, though, is kind of a small
room and liquor store.
Not a tasting room. It was actually a shop, so you could buy T-shirts and bottles and stuff. Except it was also a show. There were many, many birds in this room, mechanical birds, and they all sang and talked in different languages. Oh, wow. So it was almost like being It's a Small World.
The tiki room.
You had the tiki room. Yes. The German bird, the Japanese bird, the Italian bird, the Russian bird, and they're all kind of tweeting away and talking to you. And by the way, you can buy some whiskey and buy some T-shirts. It was crazy. Yes. And at the time, I bet you it's probably the same. Everything was controlled, or could be controlled, by Brian Davis on his iPhone. The entire distillery.
Wow.
All the lights, all the machinery, everything.
And the people.
And the people, because
they got the chips.
They're all robots. Uh-huh. Except a significant other, Joanna. She could not be controlled by the
She's immune. Boy, they were both really good whiskeys.
They were. They were.
I am really, really glad we went to revisit these things, because they are still good. Really. All right, so where were we? We're talking LA Confidential.
So tell me, what confused you about the plot? I mean, I'm not going to say it's not convoluted.
I don't know.
But there's a lot going on for sure.
There's a lot going on. I don't know. It was just too much for me. But it didn't matter to me. And
were you watching a hockey game while you were watching the movie?
No, I did watch it in two chunks. I think in two chunks. In some of these things, it doesn't matter to me. I'm watching some shows now. I'm watching Tehran, and there's things going on. Those details almost don't matter to me too much. I mean, the storytelling is critical, of course, but the people on screen are actually more important to me, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's about the story. I mean, if you watch any show, it's going to be so convoluted. It's like, does it even matter at this point?
Yes. It felt, I don't know, you guys know this movie better than I do. So it felt a little convoluted. And I had this discussion recently with a friend of mine. It's really hard for me to watch Kevin Spacey now. And I was a big Kevin Spacey fan. And I had a discussion with a friend of mine recently. We were talking about music and whether or not we can still like Roger Waters, because we're relatively pro-Israel guys and he's an anti-Israel guy. And can we still like Roger Waters and his music and Pink Floyd? And both of us we really can't like him as much. We don't seek out that music anymore because of his politics. And it's hard to watch Kevin Spacey. I want to revisit 80s TV show
Oh, Wise Guy?
A Wise Guy, where that was like one of his breakout roles. And he was so great in it as a wacky mafia or, organized crime guy. But I don't know. I want to see him again. I loved him in House of Cards, and I don't know.
And did we mention Wise Guy last time? You said Jonathan Banks was on it too?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
He's Vinny Terranova's handler in the show.
Okay. Now, was this a Michael Mann show?
No.
Wise Guy?
No, it was the guy.
No. I was thinking
did all these TV things. I'm gonna look it up. He did a lot of TV stuff, detective things. Go ahead, keep talking, and I'll look that up.
No, that's all right. Yeah, I mean, it's a little confusing. I'll tell you one thing: the movie compared to the book, the movie is like a microcosm of the book. Right. I mean, the book is huge and sprawling.
Yeah,
and they made some pretty significant changes. I don't really care because I read the book after I watched the movie because I was kind of curious.
Yeah.
So it's not like I went back, but the book is like, how many pages is the book? The book is like 500 pages. And
jeez.
And according to something I read from Elroy, he said there were like 8 storylines going on in the book, and they condensed it down to 3.
Yeah.
So they kind of they narrowed the focus.
It would be too long a movie if they try to tell the storylines.
I mean, like all his books are like that. They're big, they're sprawling, and he likes to do a little revisionist history, not revisionist history, but like fictionalized history to a degree.
He's also quite descriptive.
Yes.
Oh, so the book's long because he's got to paint the picture. Where with the movie, somebody painted the picture for you. You don't need that. You can see the clothes, you see the lighting, you see everything else.
He is one of the most unique writers, though, and his style has gotten more sparse and more like it's like machine gun. The way his sentences come out, and you have to kind of get into the rhythm reading his stories, because it just goes so quick. It's like real staccato.
Well, and he doesn't seem to be as prolific as some of the other writers.
No, I don't think he needs to be anymore.
Because I just put him out because I think he really took time to write each book.
Oh, yeah.
Where some of these guys, once they get a big name, they got the ghostwriter working with them and they just keep cranking, and it becomes
right.
This isn't anything like the original books. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, like one of his follow-ups. So he does these this was like the LA Quartet. This book is part of the LA Quartet. I think it's like the 3rd book in the series.
Yeah,
they're not really related, but they are. Like I think the Black Dahlia is the first one.
That's the oldest story.
Yeah, and this is like the 3rd. Now these weren't his oldest books, but that's
no, I mean in the era.
Right.
That was the 30s. Yep.
And then he had the other one. It was the 3 books basically that start with like John F. Kennedy. Those books, like one builds up to like the Kennedy assassination. The next one builds up to like Martin Luther King and Bobby Kennedy. And then the next one goes on to like, I don't know, Vietnam or whatever. But the books are huge and sprawling and there's so many characters. It's crazy. But what's neat about the book is he takes like the 3 perspectives of the main characters. And he kind of did the same with the movie. So it's, it's Exley and Bud White and Jack Vincennes. And they each get a chapter in the book and it kind of keeps going through their piece and then it kind of all ties together. It's really interesting the way he does it. Like these multiple perspectives in the book.
He's one of those guys, as an LA person, you really get a sense of LA because he's talking about specific places.
Oh yeah.
Very, very specific. Street corners down to the, mailbox. And it really connects you to the place you live in. I like those. He's not making up names. It really is Fairfax Boulevard. It really is, the Hollywood sign. And that it makes it fun. The whole, we talked about this with Swingers too, how those are real places in LA.
Yep.
Right. That's not a set. Those aren't sets. And a lot of this movie is in real places in Los Angeles too, which is fun. Those are little Easter eggs for people who may or may not know. The Formosa Cafe, famous bar. Yeah.
Well, what they said, I was looking at the the behind the scenes on the DVD. So he said his pitch was that he didn't like show anyone the script. So he went to Arnaud Milchon was the producer of the movie, and he basically didn't show him the script. He had like all these old posters, like postcards from Los Angeles, and like photos and stuff from like Confidential magazine, I think it's what it was, one of those tabloid magazines, newspaper clippings, all this stuff. And he just kind of set the stage for what he envisioned the story to be. And the guy was like, I don't need to see the script. You got it all in your head. Let's do it. Right. And he just kind of went from there. And he pitched it the same way to everybody. So Kevin Spacey and, and everybody that he tried to talk to about the movie. That's how he pitched it.
It's that dime store novel era that's taken up many, many notches into good storytelling and great acting and great, not sets, but area where it all comes together. It really is awesome because you got this crime drama motif in a great setting with great performances by such an amazing cast.
Yeah,
just amazing. Yep.
And there's really there's no weak link. This is like the 27 Yankees. You just who's the worst guy out here? He's a great actor.
I mean, James Cromwell doesn't really get top billing, but he was tremendous.
He is.
He was just so good.
David Strathairn in Little Parties In, and Ron Rifkin playing the DA.
Ron Rifkin, yeah, he's good.
Paul Guilfoyle playing Mickey Cohen. I mean, everybody in this, you're like, each one of these guys is really good in the role they played.
The partner who gets the cop that gets killed. The partner
Stensland.
That guy. Yeah, he's I don't know, B actor who I don't know who he is, and he just nails it.
Yeah,
nails it. Yep.
Yeah, and you find him to be as equally unlikable as he should be.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, I mean, everything, like the interrogation scenes where they're messing with the mics and they're letting the other guys in the other rooms listen in on what's going on and who's ratting who out.
Yeah. So you're funny you said that because one of the more uncomfortable parts of it is the ugly truth behind the era, right? The endemic racism and old time policing, I guess you could call it, and
scandal.
Yeah, or playing around with a microphone, or beating somebody to death to get a confession. And Los Angeles wasn't immune to that. That was real stuff, like in most of America.
My love for all things crime and cop and all this kind of stuff. But like that what was it? We Own This City. Not to go off topic with the shows.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that was 3 years ago when those cops got indicted, and that was all kinds of thieving going on.
Yeah.
Whether it's just robbing from drug dealers, reselling the drugs, doing all this crazy stuff, and that wasn't that long ago. So how much has really changed in the last 50 years? 70 years.
And LA at the time this came out, they had that ramp scandal. Isn't that what the big thing was in LA? So, you basically picked this movie and they were undergoing a current investigation of their whole police force. So,
and we are under one LA
again, right?
Surrounding it. Always. It's just never ending. And the sheriff, the county sheriff's being looked at, and it's never ending. And I think is it said in the movie, or is it, I did read this somewhere, that LA has the largest police force in America? Is that
really?
Was that in?
Maybe, I don't know.
To Serve and Protect is on all of the LA City police. That's their motto, which has been kind of been thrown around in the news lately.
Yeah.
To serve and profit.
Yeah.
Wait, funny protect. I meant protect. What did I say?
Funny you said profit. We were talking about Kevin Spacey and Wise Guy. His character's name was Mel Prophet.
Okay.
Mel Prophet. And the creator of that show was Stephen J. Cannell.
Oh,
okay. Did
made everything.
Everything. Oh my God. I looked up his, he was a writer on Ironside, editor on Adam 12, Chase, Columbo, Rockford Files.
Rockford Files was the one I remember to be in.
Beretta, Bawa Black Sheep, Greatest American Hero, 10 Speed and Brown Shoe, A-Team, Hardcastle McCormick, Hunter, Riptide, Stingray, JJ Starbuck, Wise Guy, 21 Jump Street, talking about our favorite Johnny Depp. Yeah. It's crazy all the things that guy did. Yeah, nuts.
And, and I believe dyslexic.
Wow. Really?
He was able to do all these things because at the end of all of his productions, you would see someone sitting at a typewriter and they'd pull off a page and the page would curl up as their logo.
Right.
And they said he physically would not be able to do that because he was dyslexic.
Wow. Interesting story.
That was something they rolled out there.
That's a good
fact. Able to overcome all that. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the Michael Mann show I was thinking of was Crime Story.
Oh,
different show.
Crime Story.
Totally different show.
Yep.
And I think that was with Dennis Farina.
That sounds right.
I think he was in that. So anyway, I'm sorry.
I was looking at any kind of factoids that might be interesting here. I think we covered a lot of the stuff. Yeah. It was really originally intended as a miniseries. When executive producer David Wolper first read Ellroy's novel, he saw the dense, complex story as the perfect fodder for a TV miniseries and was probably turned down by all the major networks at the time.
I think it would have been a great 10 episode HBO show.
Now
and didn't it?
Now they would, but no one looked for 10 episodes. Then.
Resurrected though? Wasn't it resurrected as going to be a TV show and that didn't happen?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I
So
know they were working on, I think, American Tabloid, which is another Ellroy book.
Yeah.
2003. In 2003, a television pilot of LA Confidential was aired. However, the pilot was not picked up as a running series. The show's main actors would have been Kiefer Sutherland, Josh Hopkins, David Conrad, Pruitt Taylor, Vince, Melissa George, and Eric Roberts. The pilot is a special feature on the 2-disc DVD and Blu-ray release of the film.
Really?
But that was probably going to be like a 100-episode series. Not
probably
a finite, BBC, we're going to do 8 episodes and never come back to it again. Which I think is what sells now.
There's more. In 2018, CBS ordered a new pilot based on the novel. The pilot would star Walter Goggins as Vincenzus, Mark Webber as White, Brian J. Smith as Exley, Sarah Jones as Lynn, Alana Arenas as June, and Shea Wiggum as Dick Stensland. In May of 2018, it was announced the pilot would not be moving forward. So they tried.
Yeah, but you know what?
I bet if you went to HBO Max, they'd make something in 8 or 10 episodes and roll it back out again.
Oh yeah,
maybe.
And people would love it.
The problem is I can't get this cast out of my head.
What's the
I know that's
HBO
a problem.
Thing? What's the HBO thing? True Detective, right?
Right.
Each year is 2 different.
It's a new story.
But you could do that with this and roll it out.
I am surprised when you said that. I'm surprised that HBO hasn't done that, for instance, with a famous writer of crime novels. Yeah, right. And every year is a new novel.
Yep.
And I would say it's too expensive. But how much did they play that what's his name, Martin guy, the guy for Game of Thrones? Is it R.R. Martin? Is that the guy that Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah.
George
R. Martin.
Yeah. I mean, how much money they paid him? So it's not a question of money.
No, all you need is content. You need something, and if the public knows it, you're already kind of getting the buy-in already.
Right.
It seems. What do we know? We're not TV executives.
Let's do it. Let's write the script.
Booze Dancing, television production, go.
Do it now.
Do it. Well, boys, we've hit that magic hour, 7:03 on the West Coast here.
We have
1 hour of fun. One show, one drink.
We only had 2 whiskeys, so we had one show, 2 drinks. But pretty good.
I might have had a
final thoughts on the movie, Aaron. How do you feel?
It's an A+. It's an A+. I mean, even with my little issues with a couple actors, it's great. And even though I didn't understand the story, the plot, it doesn't matter. It was all the individual parts of it are so good, and all the people are so good. It's great.
And I think it holds up over 25 years.
Most definitely.
It's not one of these period movies you watch and you're just like, well, that movie stinks.
Well, you know what though? I think period movies hold up more because they're set at a certain time.
Right, but some of them have like a preachy kind of thing to them.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to expose something else, or they're kind of ham-fisted with the cast. Right. This cast was so good. The writing was so good. It came from such a great source. I mean, everything about it checks every box for me. You're like, this is a win.
Yeah, I mean, again, the score, the cinematography, the acting, just everything, just the mood, the way it's shot. There's just the production design, the settings. I mean, I want Pierce Patchett's house. I want that house. That's like, that's like the Hollywood dream house. It's like, did you ever see Heat? You've seen Heat, right?
Yep.
Do you remember, I can't think of the one actor's name, the guy who was like the bond guy with the bearer bonds, who was going to trade him? I can't think of David Fichter is his name, I think, the actor. But he's got this house, Hollywood Hills, classic Hollywood Hills house. Right. Floor to ceiling glass windows. It's got the pool. It's got the view of Los Angeles. It's just that whole thing. That Hollywood Hills house is just fantastic.
And they won't give it to you. They won't leave that house and say, come live here.
I don't have $20 million. So what are you going to do?
20. Have you seen the market? 50.
50. Okay. I don't have 50.
Whatever.
I don't have one.
If you didn't have 20, you don't have 50.
You don't got 50.
But yeah, it's a solid movie. I mean, it's an A for me. It's like one of those that I could watch all the time.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it being on in the background, just sitting down watching it. It's just great.
And it's so well acted. Russell Crowe is such a good guy, bad guy in it, where he beats the wife beater, something fierce. And
I mean, his career explodes after this.
Yeah. And Guy Pearce is so, almost a one-dimensional, white and black. There's good, there's evil, there's no in between. And by the end of the movie, he's realized maybe there's some gray. It's just really well done. Vincennes is throwing everything in. The Spacey character he's phoning it in for years. He doesn't care. And at the very end, he realizes, well, I got to stand for something. Every little piece to it was just so well done.
Yep. Well, the boys, we did it again. We went live. We drank. We watched a movie. We're happy.
Life is good. Life is good.
Life is good. One show, one drink. Booze Dancing Entertainment Network. We did it again. Another episode coming to you on a podcast forum near you.
One of these days. One of these days.
Once the editors do their job over in Saigon. We farm it all out.
Do we?
Do we? Yes. As well as the animation. It's the same place that does the Simpsons animation.
Maybe we should.
Maybe. It might go faster.
We'd have a happier boss.
Exactly.
All right, boys. We did well.
Gentlemen.
We'll do this again, live or not live, soon.
All right, man.
Cheers.
Let me roll the. We got the outro.
We got the outro.
We got an outro.
Not to be confused with
we have an innie and an outie.
Yeah, and we're going to be, and we're working on getting a contract on the Ocho.
The Ocho.
On the Ocho. In between dodgeball and pickleball. And axe throwing.
Just a little bit of nonsense.
Exactly. I'm going to roll it. I'm rolling it.
Roll it.